Ask Reddit by Stay Thirsty. What product was so poorly designed that you suspect the team that made it never used the product? My dishwasher beeps several times loudly when the cycle is done. Loudly enough that you can hear it outside the house. If you don't open the door, it will beep again 45 minutes later, and every 45 minutes forever until you do so. There is no way to silence this feature or reduce the volume. Apparently there's no such thing as starting the dishwasher at night and then going to bed in these designers' minds. That's something where technology advanced. Our dryer would beep once done. Not every 45 minutes but continuously. My parents would blissfully sleep through that noise but my bed was directly above. No sleep there. Our new dryer. Same company, 25 years newer, only beeps shortly once you start it. Heavenly. In my experience, most educational resources curriculums created by district employees that have never taught, or hasn't taught in 15+ years. The amount of times they give this new fantastic module to learn, it turns out to be an absolute shit show. Wild. The damn Outlook search function. I'll search my boss name, whom I email multiple times a day for the past 7+ years, and it will say no results or here's an email from 2018, which is obviously what you're looking for, nothing more recent. Way too many carrying products, luggage, boxes, bags, laundry baskets, have put more emphasis on the comfort softness of the top of the handle, rather than the underside, which is the side that is forced into your hand with the weight of whatever is in your box bag basket. Edit 1. Half-assed the original message expecting no replies, so edited for typos. Edit 2. Way deep in the comments someone mentioned downward facing ridges on handle undersides. Yes. This was my catalyst. I'm convinced that the only grocery store that tested the hand baskets you use in store is Target. They put the handle in the comfortable orientation and curved the side. Everyone else just said screw you, here's a basket. Toys that only have one volume. Extremely loud. Whoever makes these does not have kids of their own. Ugh, I fully understand. I put clear tape over the speaker. I have an inkjet printer, brother, that prints misaligned, makes slightly wavy text. I can't fix it because when you run the alignment diagnostic stuff, either manual or automatic, it prints a paper for you to scan so the printer can fix itself. However, the printer can't read the paper it scans because it's misaligned, so it can't get fixed. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. Even called support and they were like, "Welp, it's not supposed to do that. GG, better luck next time." My printer ran out of ink. Now it can't scan images. The trunk won't open on some Chevrolet cars if the battery is dead. There is no keyhole or physical release cable. The battery is in the trunk. You can jump it from contacts under the hood, sure, but that's such an odd design choice to me. Oh god. On a similar note, the 2004 Chrysler Intrepid, where, to get to the battery, you have to either remove the air filter, which barely gives access to the battery, so the real way of doing it is to remove the tire. Fucking what? Auto designers are cracked. Women's underwear. The part that is supposed to get dirty is never far enough forward to catch what it's supposed to catch. Eater after 4K upvotes. I've got a business idea. Anybody want in? Wait, it's not just me? I just assumed I had some kind of weird anatomy where the discharge took the path to the clit and not just straight down. My vacuum cleaner, the hose is mounted at a downwards angle and it's impossible to pull it along as you go. It keeps going to the side or even flipping over. It takes 1 minute of use to notice this, but I guess they only tested it for 30 seconds. I just bought a waterproof cargo bag for the roof of my car that was fairly expensive. The velcro that keeps the zipper protected was just glued on, not stitched. The very first time I opened the bag all the velcro came off because the attraction to itself was stronger than the adhesive bond to the vinyl bag. It's like there was absolutely zero product testing, but I'm sure it was 5 cents cheaper to make it glued rather than stitched. How could something like this have ever been allowed to leave the factory? In order to be waterproof it probably needs the glue. That being said, it should probably be both glued and stitched. All of the tear here markings on coffee packs, juice cartons, etc. mark the strongest, most tear resistant part of the package. Can I add all the resealable packaging too? It really does not reseal. Once you break the original seal and peel it back, there's no stopping it from flapping around unless you put it in another bag or container. Software drivers for basically any HP printer made in the last 3 decades. Holy crap, yes. I work in it and I hate how bloated those stupid drivers are. No, I don't want HP device experience or whatever the hell that is, and I don't want to have to download a 300 megabyte bloated pile of steaming crap when all I need is for JoQ employee to send documents through to the printer on his desk. God, I miss the days of those LaserJet 2500s with their universal PCL drivers. So simple. And those were like the Volvo 240 of printers. Freaking tanks. My new iron has a restart if you tip it over after it's timed out. So if you accidentally leave it plugged in and it gets knocked over by accident, pet or child bumps the board, wind knocks something over knocking the iron over, it starts up while face down. That literally defeats the entire purpose of the timeout safety feature. I'll add a comment as someone said something that made me think. Streaming services search engines? You can literally have 10k to 50k things to watch, but there is absolutely no way to do an in-depth search. Doesn't have to be through a mobile app, maybe an online connection through a website. But if I want to find a show that was running in the late 90s and I know it was science fiction, why can't I do that? So much content I might want to watch but can't find it. Because you watched Step Brothers. You may also like Schindler's List, The Crying Game, A Walk to Remember. My mom's had 3 wheelchairs. They all suck. The brake lever mechanism invariably interferes with the footrests. On her current one, the brake lever mechanism is curved, so it's pretty good. I think it could still be better. I'm surprised they're not better. I definitely feel like given my experience I could design a much better wheelchair than anything on the market under $1,000. I used a few different wheelchairs in high school, rentals only for about 6 weeks max, and my school's wheelchairs. I was really surprised by how different such simple things could be. But I remember liking the older one that I rented. It was narrower and fit me well, so I could actually reach both brakes at the same time, plus the footrests were very adjustable. Those sliding shower doors with an overlapping section that is impossible to clean without taking the whole door off. The mold pit. All iterations of Skype after Microsoft bought it. Skype for Business. Never has a product been less appropriate or ready for business use. I'm reminded of a book I once read by a former tech reporter who claims most of the industry is bullshit. In one of the chapters he talked about going to the Google headquarters for an event shortly after Google Glass came out. The event was centered around the product and lots of attendees were wearing their pair, but the author noted that not a single Google employee who were hosting the event were wearing Google Glass. That's when he said he knew the product was doomed. Do you remember the title? I'm designing and building a tech thing and I'm super focused on making sure it works, and I feel like everybody I work with or talk to about it thinks that's like 3rd or 4th on the list. Am I a chump or what, lol? Sanitary pads. Especially ones advertised as zero bunching, they most certainly do bunch. They will go straight up your bum crack. They can only have been designed by someone who doesn't use them to have made that claim. They are also so short and not wide enough and never stay. If I wear one and I'm planning to sit, I have to lay it lengthwise and make sure both have wings to fold over the underside. And even then it will somehow shift by 1mm, giving the blood a direct escape route. Any sites with lots of text and ads in between. Scroll down. Start reading. Then the ad loads and your article shifts down a few inches. Go to click a link but suddenly the ad loads and you click that. One of the biggest reasons I switched from iPhone to Android was so that I could use ad blockers on Firefox. Every online newspaper. The Bluetooth app connectivity for my washing machine. Didn't really want that feature, but it was a last-minute substitution. If the wash cycle takes longer than the initial estimate, the start time changes rather than the time remaining estimate. I just don't bother with the app. My washing machine has been at 8 minutes for the past half hour. My clothes dryer. It has touch controls that are designed in such a way that you pretty much have to guess what you're supposed to touch. Nothing visibly looks like a button. And when turned on has an inexplicable 10+ sec delay before the touch controls work, so you basically poke it all over the place without even knowing if it's the right place to poke or if you simply need to wait for nothing to happen. I mean, that's what I think, at least, but can't be sure since there seriously is no visual indication of anything. There's also a numerical display which I assumed was related to the time left until it's done. But I've been using it for almost 2 years now and I still have no clue what those numbers are meant to indicate. They certainly don't correlate with any time units I'm aware of. New dryers make me glad I still have my 20+ year-old one. It's dumb, simple, and easy to repair. Replaced the motor in it so it'll probably last another 20 years. The perforated corner of a Kraft Mac and Amp cheese box. Fuck yes. For decades. Some road intersections make me wonder if the engineers have actually ever driven a vehicle. Or parking lots where they intersect with several other businesses. They seem to especially love at the crossways on curves with directions that make no sense. Baby wipes. Hey, you know when a good time to struggle with opening a package that says it has perforations but really doesn't? You want one? Here's a chunk of 20. You want a bunch? Here's a tiny ripped corner. You have 10 left on a trip and need to conserve? Too bad, motherfucker. Here's the rest of the pack. Get your tired ass to CVS. Deleted. Any stove or car with touch screens instead of knobs and buttons. I hate this with passion, especially when it comes to aircon controls. Why fix things aren't broken? My refrigerator has a water filter that cannot be changed without turning off the supply, which is behind the refrigerator. So you have to pull the multi-100-pound fridge, with all the food and such, out to turn the water off before you can change the water filter. The old Maytag it replaced had no such requirement. That is mindlessly bad and makes no sense. Mammogram machines. If they're gonna make a titty panini, the least they could do was add a pretty waffle pattern or something SMH. God obviously doesn't have or use sinuses. Sinuses or teeth, where did God fuck it up more? Modern fans. I remember as a kid they were all solid AF, mostly metal, moved tons of air, and they were quiet or at least made a consistent and constant steady sound. Now they are all shitty plastic crap that move in volumes of air, weak motors, with cheap feet and handles that break or fall off, vibrate all over the place, wobble, fall over, make high-pitched WHNs, irregular noise, and otherwise just suck. And you can't even pay to win. There are no high-end models, they are all trash. Eater. Thanks everyone. I was shopping for fans in the wrong place. Seems like I'd have much better luck at hardware, commercial, industrial, farm stores and second-hand shops. I will be upgrading both my fans this year and I now have a battle plan. Really appreciate all the advice. There are nice fans, they just cost a shitload. I have several big ass fans at home, and they are awesome. Expensive, but awesome.